What is going on, guys? JD from New York here. WWE News and Rumors for the week ending August 25th, 2013. Now, before I begin, I would just like to say thank you to all the new subscribers who have come over thanks to my SummerSlam review and results video following the SummerSlam pay-per-view this year. It went over so well. I really didn't think I would get that many views on my review video. Typically, they don't do well going up against like Sean's View and these other guys on here doing the same exact thing, but I'm very, very appreciative that it did so well, and I thank all you guys for coming over here and subscribing just based off that video. This is going to be your number one source, I promise you, for the rest of the year and moving forward into the future for all your WWE needs. I've been a fan for 25 years. I know the WWE inside and out. It's been something of my childhood that has never left, so if you guys want in-depth opinion, honest, truthful, no bullshit opinion on what happens in the product on TV, whether it's news or rumors or anything, this is the place, all right? Also, I do have an official Facebook page. I would greatly appreciate to get that up off the ground. I'm right now 162 likes on Facebook. I would love to get that to 200 by the end of the month. So if you guys have a Facebook, go like my Facebook page. It's in the link down in the description. I also have a Twitter page. Follow me on Twitter if you guys don't know that. Or if you have a Twitter, I'm on there all day long. If you guys want to be up to date with what I do on here, those are the two best sources, all right? Enough of that bullshit. Let's get right into it. I got big news this week, guys. Two names in particular, which I really didn't think about before actually sitting down in front of the microphone this week. Now, I got news on AJ Styles from TNA. If you guys are TNA guys, I got news on AJ Styles. His contract is up in September. What does that mean? Is he finally coming to the WWE? Is this someone Triple H is interested in? Because if you guys remember, if you guys are on the dirt sheets like I am, if you guys are following the news every day like I am, Triple H has been quoted to say he doesn't see anyone in TNA that the WWE would sign. He doesn't see anyone in TNA that the WWE needs. That couldn't be farther from the truth. I know 5 guys off the top of my head that I would take from the TNA roster and insert them onto the WWE main roster from Monday Night Raw and SmackDown. AJ Styles is one of them. Kurt Angle, obviously. Bobby Roode. James Storm, when healthy. And then Jeff Hardy. Obviously. But AJ Styles, word is going around that his contract is up in September, and the two sides, TNA and AJ, have yet to come to terms on a new contract. According to reports, there has been very little attempt by TNA to get a new deal done. There has been speculation that this was the case for a few weeks now, but that has not been confirmed. This would not be the first time TNA has let a valued talent's deal expire, such as Samoa Joe, Devon Dudley, and Bobby Roode had their contracts expire before TNA attempted to even lock them up again. The interesting thing about this is that Styles has been the TNA poster boy since the company launched in 2002. Now, he was the focus of the original X Division. He was a multiple-time world champion and has had many great matches in the company, some of the greatest matches in that company's history. Styles is one of the select few branded guys as a quote-unquote TNA guy, similar to a generation ago with Sting being a WCW guy. TNA could put themselves into a situation where WWE could come in and sign him up with WWE counterparts signed before his deal is expiring. All signs right now show that's the position TNA is putting themselves in. TNA is also in the midst of a big storyline right now, which I don't know because I don't watch TNA, with AJ Styles, which will culminate on Hardcore Justice, which is happening on Thursday of Impact Wrestling. Earlier today, the following was posted. Earlier today, meaning Thursday. This will be going up on Friday, just so that you guys know. I'm recording this on Thursday. Earlier today, the following was posted on AJ Styles' official Facebook page, and I quote, "Where do fans want AJ Styles to be? TNA? WWE? Ring of Honor? Japan? There's a lot of options and a lot of tough decisions." End quote. This could be, finally, the breaking point of TNA. If TNA does not get their act together, I don't necessarily watch the product, but I know what's going on. I know who's in and who's coming out, okay? If AJ Styles' contract is up and TNA is this foolish to not, treat this as a priority, he's going to jump to WWE because of one reason and one reason only. AJ Styles is the kind of guy, after several, years, he's been in TNA now for 11 years. After such an amount of time passes, you're worth all the money that you're going to be offered. Okay? You put on money matches. You know your talent. You know what you could do in the ring. You know what you can do for the company. You could make any company you go to good. AJ Styles is going to want the cash. He's going to want the money. Where's he going to go? He's not going to Japan because he's going to be a nobody over there. Nobody in the States is going to know who AJ Styles is anymore. Nobody's going to care about AJ Styles if he goes over to Japan. American wrestling fans want to know what's happening in America. Okay? He's not going to Ring of Honor because he's not going to make anything. He's probably going to be making less than TNA. Now, I don't know what kind of guy AJ Styles is. Maybe he's not about the money, but I know if I was AJ Styles, I'd be like, you know what? Fuck this. Let me call Triple H. Let me see what their interest is. I want to go to WWE. Why? Because that is the premier wrestling organization in the United States. If I want my name in bright stars, I'm going to WWE. If I want to wrestle at WrestleMania, the biggest event for wrestling in our industry, I want to go to WWE. This is why I think AJ is going to go to WWE. Why? For all those reasons. Why do you think Sting is finally sitting down with himself and pondering, really, for this time, to go to WWE? He wants to be at WrestleMania. This is why Kurt Angle has already publicly stated he wants to retire at WrestleMania. He wants one more match at WrestleMania before he calls it quits. He made that publicly known. That's something inside. Everyone who's in the wrestling industry wants that one thing. Sting wants that one WrestleMania match. Sting has been on multiple radio stations, multiple interviews saying he wants The Undertaker at WrestleMania. It's no secret, amongst these guys. It's none. If AJ Styles has one opportunity to go to the WWE, I really do think, in my honest opinion, he's going to jump at that chance. If he doesn't, he's a fool. Okay? AJ Styles doesn't need TNA anymore. TNA needs AJ Styles. And if he leaves, I don't know what to tell you about TNA. I really don't. They're not doing too well right now, but if someone like AJ Styles leaves, someone like him and his name and what he's done for that company, no more, guys. TNA, you might as well close up shop. It's going to kill the company if he leaves. I really think AJ is going to gauge interest from WWE, and if Triple H was wise, he would open up and invite AJ in with open arms. That's just my honest opinion. Officials have told a lot of talent in the WWE, now is the time to step up and work their hardest now that John Cena is out with an injury. It was dictated in the WWE locker rooms that if there was ever a time in the WWE to make a name for yourself right now and become a star, now is that time. Well, obviously, that makes the most sense because John Cena is not there, okay? But the WWE superstars can only do as much as they're given. What I mean by that is, WWE Creative needs to get behind certain guys if they want that to come true. Plain and simple. You can't have guys like Curtis Axel and Dolph Ziggler and Wade Barrett and, Antonio Cesaro sitting in the back, collecting a paycheck, not being showcased on TV. I'm tired of seeing it. Those are the guys you have to have step up. Give them the ball and have them run with it. Dolph Ziggler doesn't need to be delegated to the mid-card anymore. He's obviously proved he's a main event star. He's obviously proved that he's over with the fans. He's got crowd support. Put him in a high-profile match. Enough is enough already. WWE needs to get behind certain guys if they want what they said to come true. I'm sure there's a lot of guys in WWE that want to be a star. Give them the ball and have them run with it. Plain and simple. There has been talk in WWE about possibly dropping the Hell in the Cell pay-per-view after this year. The match itself would stick around, of course, but it would be used more as a gimmick match to blow off feuds rather than an actual pay-per-view event. This topic has been brought up several times in the past. Thank fucking God. I hate the gimmick pay-per-views except, and I'm going to say this, except TLC and Money in the Bank. Those are the only two gimmick pay-per-views I see on a WWE pay-per-view calendar. Hell in a Cell, I did not like it. It just doesn't make any sense. It took away from the whole environment of the match. If you're going to have two main events on one pay-per-view that's going to be contested in Hell in a Cell, it's just going to make the matches boring. It's going to overplay the matches. The matches are going to overstay their welcome. And the WWE with the Hell in a Cell, I'm sure you guys can agree with me, they have not been the same matches, throughout the history. If you guys recall, the early Hell in a Cell matches, when the gimmick was first introduced, it was Hell in a Cell. It was literally Hell in a Cell. Anything and everything happened inside that cell. Obviously, with Mick Foley and Undertaker, you had Cactus Jack and Triple H. You had all these guys inside the Hell in a Cell. You name it, they've been in there. Steve Austin, The Rock, this one, that one. There's been blood inside Hell in a Cell. We've seen Edge chokeslam through Hell inside Hell in a Cell. Fire inside Hell in a Cell. Hell in a Cell lived up to its name. Now, ever since it became a pay-per-view, the WWE seems to just put on half-assed matches. There's no blood. There's no hard-fought contests. I mean, the last great Hell in a Cell match was Triple H versus The Undertaker at WrestleMania. That was it. I'm glad they're doing away with this. I'd be interested to see what they come up with in October. If they just scrap that entire pay-per-view altogether, what are they going to have in October? Honestly, you know my thoughts on this. I really wish the WWE would utilize the WCW names and bring back Halloween Havoc. That would be fucking great. But we'll see what happens with that. Speaking of WWE pay-per-view changes, there is talk of having next year's SummerSlam at Madison Square Garden right here in New York, which was where the first SummerSlam event was ever held. For the past 5 years, obviously, you guys know SummerSlam has been hosted at the Staples Center in Los Angeles, California. Now, if SummerSlam is coming to New York, I may have to do a live review and results next year at Madison Square Garden. I may actually have to be in attendance at that. I've never been to a WWE pay-per-view live in person, and if SummerSlam does come, I may just end up there. Who knows? But that's exciting news. I would love to see SummerSlam come to Madison Square Garden in New York City. I just love the whole event, and it would do good for the city. That's just my opinion on that. WWE's Dolph Ziggler spoke with a newspaper prior to SummerSlam last week and expressed his frustration with only having a mixed tag team match at the event, as well as his frustration over his character's stagnation since losing the World Heavyweight Championship. Ziggler mentions that he envisioned either still holding the World Heavyweight Championship or remaining in the title picture at this point, which doesn't appear to be the case anymore. I honestly do not know what WWE is doing with Dolph Ziggler. I don't know why they just vanished him from the World Heavyweight Championship picture. Obviously right now Del Rio's your champion, Christian's involved, and now you got Rob Van Dam, which is probably going to happen at Night of Champions. It's going to be RVD with Ricardo Rodriguez versus Alberto Del Rio. Ziggler, obviously if WWE wants to make money off this, if WWE is smart, they would book Ziggler and rekindle that feud again, because obviously there's bad blood there. That whole feud is not finished. Del Rio went in a cheap route to capture the World Heavyweight Championship, and he exposed Dolph Ziggler's injury, which happened at the hands of Jack Swagger. We remember with that concussion, he was out for 5 weeks, and then all of a sudden they dropped the belt to Alberto Del Rio. They took it away from Ziggler. There's unfinished business there. They need to rekindle that feud. I don't know what they're doing with RVD. I don't know where RVD fits into the world title picture. I think this is Vince McMahon's doing, because RVD is a crowd favorite, and he's been wrestling fantastic ever since he's been back. So I figure Vince thinks RVD deserves a title shot, but not at the hands or not to replace Dolph Ziggler. That's just messed up in my honest opinion. I think Ziggler needs to be in the main event, because sooner or later you're going to have Damian Sandow coming up. Cody Rhodes has been stepping up his game. Dolph Ziggler is obviously one of the top stars in the company. That World Heavyweight Championship picture on SmackDown is going to look a little crowded. All right, so it's exciting to see, but there shouldn't be too many names in the basket all at one time, is what I'm trying to say. Get this little feud out with RVD, and then immediately insert Ziggler's name back into there. I really think they really need to rekindle that feud and finish what they started, because it would only make sense storyline-wise. So we have to see what happens. While many backstage, this is an interesting story. While many backstage at SummerSlam believed that the work was fantastic, some took the "now we can tell a great story, and when Bryan gets his revenge, it will get him over even more" stance. Okay? Another portion took they should have let Bryan have his moment, and it would have made him right there. And he wouldn't have had to they wouldn't have to have him chase the World Heavyweight Championship, okay? So a lot of people backstage, they're split. They figured Daniel Bryan's going to be a bigger star now and get his revenge on Randy Orton and Triple H. Though you have those guys who are in favor of that, and then there's another portion of the WWE backstage that feel that Bryan should have had his moment at SummerSlam. They should have just left it as is. They should have let him have the WWE Championship, and he would have been made into a star right then and there, and no more needed to be done. But several in the company also commented that it made no sense, and this is where it gets interesting. I was surprised to read this today. Several in the company also commented that it made no sense for Bryan to be on the receiving end of a pedigree, have all the time pass between then and Randy Orton getting to the ring, ringing the bell, and then get to the pinfall, yet Bryan couldn't kick out. Few people also pointed out that it was ridiculous that a maneuver from a retired wrestler is so devastating that it outdid anything that John Cena did in that match. I was actually surprised to read that story today. That's got realistic, no bullshit, I'm going to tell you as it is, written all over it. And it's true. It's true. How is Daniel Bryan going to take a beating from John Cena in a 25-minute plus match, win the WWE Championship, have Triple H pedigree him, lay motionless on the ground for a minute or two until Randy Orton finally comes down to the ring, cashes in, and then he can't kick out of a pedigree from a retired wrestler? That's something that I would say. It makes sense. But I'll tell you where I stand on this. I'm going to take the first one. I think Daniel Bryan chasing the WWE Championship and getting his revenge, it's going to make him even more of a star. It's going to be worth it in the end, and the chase is going to be great television. If they gave him the World Heavyweight Championship at SummerSlam, if they let him keep the WWE Championship, and all was said and done, that's it, Bryan's your new WWE Champion, it would have been a great moment for him, but it would have been it. That's it. All right, Bryan's the WWE Champion. We knew that going in. You know? We knew that John Cena was having surgery. We knew John Cena wasn't going to walk out of SummerSlam the WWE Champion. Daniel Bryan was the only logical choice there, so WWE wanted and made the best choice, in my opinion, to have Daniel Bryan chase. That's it. It's going to make him more of a star. Be patient. It's going to make the company more money because it's Wrestling 101. It's wrestling logic. If you have a heel that is so hated, right, like Randy Orton and Triple H are right now with the WWE Universe, with the WWE fans, to see Daniel Bryan get his revenge and finally win the WWE Championship, people will pay to see that. That's why they did it. Vince is no dummy. Vince has been doing this as long as they've been watching the product. That's it. It's going to make them more money. Be patient. Bryan will be the WWE Champion eventually. I don't know when, but eventually. Former WWE superstar John Morrison spoke to Ring Rust Radio on his relationship with the WWE and if he wanted to return to the company. He said he wants to do things in movies right now. I'm not going to read the whole thing because it's a long interview. But he wants to do what he's got to do in the movie business before he goes back to wrestling full-time, or what he said, before I go back to wrestling full-time. Once you're in that full-time schedule, he said, you don't really have control over your own time. But I am definitely coming back at some point. Morrison also said that he would love to work with Damien Sandow, Seth Rollins, Antonio Cesaro, and Fandango. Now, what I would do if John Morrison came back, since The Miz is a fucking scrub and absolutely no direction at all from WWE Creative, put John Morrison and The Miz back together as a tag team and set your tag team division up. You got some great teams right now. You bring John Morrison in, probably early 2014, pair him with The Miz, get them back together. There you go. Your tag team division is looking pretty damn sweet, if that's the case. But Morrison working with Damien Sandow, Seth Rollins, and Fandango, that's a pretty good. So that's pretty good as well. Antonio Cesaro as well. Those are all great potential matchups right there. So I used to like John Morrison. I thought he was a great wrestler. He needed to work on his mic skills, but I hope he does come back. And, the mid-card, if WWE gets up off their ass and, works with the mid-card, Morrison coming back can always be a great addition to that. So hopefully he does come back. Former WWE champ John Cena underwent surgery earlier this morning, Wednesday, actually, I should say. I'm reporting this on Thursday, but it's not going to be up until Friday. With Dr. James Andrews to repair a partial triceps tear. Cena commented on the surgery, writing on Twitter, "Surgery went very well. Dr. James Andrews has spent more. He has done more than his part. Now I will do mine. Hashtag play it clean. Hashtag road back is now." He also commented on his farewell on Monday Night Raw. "Bit of a tough crowd for a farewell address, but I would not have it any other way. I will miss the WWE Universe, and I love you all. See you guys soon." John Cena will be back. He'll be back before the Royal Rumble. Don't worry. As long as he gets well, rests, gets the needed time off, comes back stronger than ever, I'm all for being out. Someone else will take his spot. New stars will shine. New guys will take the ball and run with it on Monday Night Raw. New guys will be showcased on Monday Night Raw. We don't have to see John Cena, so let's get comfortable. Let's get nice and relaxed. Let's enjoy this John Cena time away from the product, and hopefully WWE could build a new star in the process. That's what I'm hoping for. Monday's Raw this week drew a 3.24 cable TV rating, which is up from the previous week of 2.95. That is an impressive number for WWE. Everybody wanted to see what happened at SummerSlam, so that was the reason for that. Hopefully they can continue that number. That's a very good number for the current WWE product, so let's see if they can continue that next week. The reason Alberto Del Rio appeared to be angry after his fight with Sin Cara on Monday Night Raw was because he couldn't finish the match. As we noted, as the article says, as we noted earlier this week, there has been backstage heat towards Sin Cara for the incident. Now, Sin Cara was supposedly injured in that match, but apparently the injury is not serious. I don't care about this story. Sin Cara, you guys know my feelings if you've been watching my videos. I do not like him at all, but that's all I got to say about that. So that was the reason why Del Rio was angry after his match with Sin Cara on Monday. The segment with CM Punk going off on the fan at ringside on Monday Night Raw was not part of the script, and the fan wasn't a plant either. For whatever reason, the fan caused Punk to lose his cool. Now, I thought opposite. I thought this was actually part of the show. I thought this guy was planted there to belittle and talk down to CM Punk, but CM Punk just obviously lost his cool. He got upset about whatever he said. I don't know what the fan said. I couldn't find any story on it today, but apparently it was not part of the show. And it was happening for real. So if you guys want to go back and watch that, I'm sure it's on WWE's YouTube. Rosa Mendes will not be part of Epico and Primo's new repackaged tag team, Los Matadores. WWE is not going to pair those two together again. WWE recently trademarked the name Torito and Torlito, which may be the new names for Epico and Primo. I don't think this tag team name is going to be good at all. I mean, this gimmick is very dated. It's very late 80s, early 90s with similarities to Tino Santana. I don't think this is going to work. But listen, I mean, I'm usually one to put down something before I see it. I'm always up to giving new guys and new characters a chance. Just like I did Fandango. He grew on me. I didn't like the gimmick when I first seen it. I'm like, who the fuck is this guy coming out? I mean, are they serious? This is like another Disco Inferno ripoff. But, obviously, Fandango's got some charisma. He's got his own character. He's playing the character very well. So I'll give this new tag team, Los Matadores, a chance. So we're going to see how that works out. WWE told certain people that some of the match finishes at SummerSlam would be changed at the last minute in order to keep leaks from coming out on the internet. At the end of the night, none of the finishes were actually changed. That's an interesting story. I don't know what happened with that guy on Reddit.com. I don't know if he actually predicted anything. But apparently WWE wanted to throw people off to prevent leaks. They said that things will be changed, but I'm glad that they stuck to their guns and kept everything the same. So that's that. And finally, guys, another big story on Goldberg to finish off this week's news. According to the Wrestling Observer newsletter, WWE is once again interested in former WCW and WWE superstar Bill Goldberg. Apparently, there is a desire to have him work next year's WrestleMania 30 pay-per-view in New Orleans, and the WWE wants to line him up against Ryback to play off their obviously similar characters. Goldberg has sent mixed messages to the fans over the years, stating in the past that he did not want to return to the WWE. But recently, he's been thinking about temporarily getting back into the ring for his son only, who is now old enough to watch some of his matches. WWE has certainly been featuring the former undefeated monster prominently with a spot in the upcoming WWE 2K14 video game and a 3-disc DVD collection on his career set to be released soon. Now, this is an interesting story. If you guys have Goldberg, if you guys see Goldberg at WrestleMania 30, let me know what you think down in the comments against Ryback. That would just make the WrestleMania 30 card even more explosive with what I want to happen. Goldberg versus Ryback, Triple H versus HBK for the control of the company. You have Brock Lesnar versus The Rock, John Cena versus The Undertaker for the streak, and then CM Punk versus Stone Cold Steve Austin. Oh my God, guys, I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about that WrestleMania. That would be the greatest show of all time. So let me know what you guys think about Bill Goldberg coming back. I would love to see him back, but I know Triple H, him and Triple H don't get along. We have to see how that transpires going into WrestleMania season. But if WWE is smart and they want to make this the biggest show of all time, Goldberg would be one of the names at the top of my list. Hopefully it happens. I hope to see it happen. But let me know what you guys think about Goldberg versus Ryback at WrestleMania. Would that be a match you would like to see at WrestleMania? I don't know. Sounds good to me right now. But that's the news and rumors, guys. Let me know what you thought down in the comments below about this week's news and rumors. Obviously, I'll be back on Monday following Raw on Tuesday morning with my review of that show. Like I said, guys, Facebook, Twitter, I'm on social media all day long. So if you guys want to follow me and what I'm doing all day and, my thoughts, and if you want to be up to date on whatever I do on this channel, those two places are the best sources. Let me know what you think down below. Let's try and get this video to 75 likes. I don't expect much from my WWE audience. I just enjoy bringing the news. All right? So I'll talk to you guys on Tuesday. Take care. And I'll talk to you soon.